Welcome to Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery, where we learn to move with purpose and live with power. This is your space for healing, for growth, for the questions that shape you and the truth that you know. We use the tools that are ancient, still working today, to steady the heart and light up the way. Breathe in, tune in, come back to center. One step, one choice, you can always get better. Master yourself, master your life. Walk in your truth and breathe through the fight. Master yourself, stay awake, stay clear. Eugene Holden's Academy is right here. Let's begin together.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery. I am Eugene Holden, and for the month of June here, I have my beautiful friend, the magnificent L.K. Grinnell.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's always good to be with you. So we were talking in the green room. I think I got that from you, talking in the green room. And what came up, what I want to start with, L, is the power, the vibration of gratitude, being grateful. One of the things that I like to say is that gratitude is a creative energy that creates more to be grateful for. Because when we're grateful for things, then more things show up to be grateful for. And it's it's written in this old book, right? In all things, be grateful. It didn't say for all things, it said in all things. So it's not only about being grateful for things, but being grateful for when you're in a situation or in an experience. Maybe I'm having a cold. Well, let me be grateful in that experience, because at least I have a body to experience this. Yeah. Gratitude. Love it, love it, love it. What's your feeling about that one?
There's this whole thing, and it's great, journaling your gratitude. I'm not saying that it's not, and not everybody's a journaler.
Right.
I think there's a lot of emphasis right now putting on journaling, and I'm a big fan of getting things out of the hamster wheel of your head, and writing things does the right and left brain crossovers, which is good brain health, right? So I'm not denying all of this, yet at the same time, when you're journaling your gratitude, are you in the process of writing, or are you in the process of being grateful? And so I enjoy the sense of instead of going, I'm grateful I have electricity, I'm grateful for the air conditioner, I'm grateful for this, beautiful day outside. And all of that is true. And what I've been doing these last few years is sitting in the gratitude. So if I say I'm grateful for electricity, I actually go over to the wall and I turn the light off and I turn it on, or vice versa. And I sit there in the gratitude of what has happened so that I can sit in this moment of gratitude with electricity. It's not just a flip of a switch. It's
Right.
a history.
Yeah.
It's a history. So
Ooh.
when there's running water and I'm grateful, I had the opportunity to travel to Mexico for the entire summer when I was 15, and got to live with family members that were impoverished, family members that they were cliff dwellers. Their house was cut out of the cliff.
Wow.
Like a cave almost. And there was not electricity in a lot of these places. There was, in many places, no running water. So on Friday, you would pay to go into town to rent a shower, so you could shower once a week. Well, I had hair down to here back in those days, and I was miserable. And I lived in a trailer park, And I was in parts of Mexico going, this is not acceptable. And so 15, I'm not 65 yet, but I'm close, right? So whatever the math on that was a long time ago. I still get in the shower so many times a week and say, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for the shower. Thank you for the soap, you know, and I feel it in my heart.
Yeah.
That's gratitude,
Yeah.
taking it beyond words and into the body of I am so blessed
Yeah.
in this. I was walking down the street to go to trivia the other night. It's about, I don't know, 6 blocks from here. And I let out a little like a because I was so happy. I'm walking, I'm going to do something fun. I'm going to hang out with my friends. The weather's nice. I was just so happy that a little like yip came out of me, like dogs when their owner comes home. I don't know what it was. And then it got me laughing. And I'm like, that's what gratitude is.
Yeah. Yeah. It truly is a feeling tone. We don't do grateful. We are grateful. We feel
Mhm.
that. It reminds me of Dr. Joe Dispenza, who talks about that vibration, right? Now we speak our word or we put our desires out, or as rockets of desire, Abraham Hicks, right? We shoot
Oh,
those
yeah.
rockets of the desire.
Mhm.
We do our prayer work. We set our intention or whatever we set our minds to what we want to experience. So we put that out there. What brings it back to us is gratitude. Dispenza talks about the scientific portion of that, the vibration of being grateful puts us and allows us to open up to be accepting because we're grateful. We're always grateful for what already is or what's already done,
Right. Yes.
right? So even being grateful for whatever it is, even though it may not look like it's in the bank account or what the relationship isn't there yet physically, but being
Mhm.
grateful for those things and just being grateful for this breath. I remember saying to
Mhm.
a client once because she was just so upset, and we were in a group way back in those days. It was in a group, and I don't have anything to be grateful for. I'm like, take a breath
Oh,
and
wow.
be
Yeah.
grateful for that. And because
Mhm.
without the breath, things are a little different. Life is not the same without the breath.
Mhm.
So and it's been my experience, El, that the more gratitude I express, which I do every day. I'm just so grateful for life, man.
Mhm.
The more that I express, the more I get to let go and then to allow things to flow. You like that transition? The
Yes.
more that I am
It-
grateful, I get to get my doorbell's ringing, my phone's ringing. The more that I am grateful, the more I get to let go. Ooh, letting go takes trust.
oh, yeah. Because we are talking about our dreams, so can you trust that
Mm,
you can put your dream out there
mm,
and not know how it's going to take form?
yeah,
So to let go of, like, say your dream is to speak on stage, and instead you become a corporate trainer, and it's actually better because it's perks, it's benefits, it's regular work, it's right. And so can we be brave enough to dream and then let go of how it comes?
yeah, yeah. And that I believe is a good question. Can I be brave enough to dream and then to let go on
Hmm.
how it shows up, let go of how I think it should show up?
Yeah. Yeah. Because we just have our limiting beliefs, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Right.
We only know what we know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
And
it was, I'm sorry, go ahead.
exactly it. No, I was just really thinking about the truth of that. We only know what we know.
We only know what we know. I think it was you who brought out analogy of you're driving down a road and the headlights can only see so far and you can't see what's around the corner,
Right.
right? So we have to trust that. Well, we don't have to
Mhm.
trust that, but it's a good thing to trust.
Mhm. You
Yeah.
know, when you're on a mountain road and you've done a lot of driving, so you know what I'm talking about recently. Roads go around the mountain, right?
Right.
And we trust that there's road on the other side.
Mm. That's true.
We don't doubt, what if we fall off when we go around the corner? And so when we can bring that kind of, we'll call it blind faith or trust into other things, it's the same idea. The concept is the same. You know, you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, when that other car goes around the corner, it disappears.
Right. Right.
And we just imagine, like what you said in the green room that I loved, love, love was the river knows where it's going.
The river
Can we
knows where it's
have
going.
that level of confidence?
Yeah. It don't, to have that level of to have that level of confidence to get off of the riverbank and jump on in.
Yeah, get in the flow.
Get in the flow. And every
Yeah.
once in a while, I may want to get out of the flow to go rest, but I'm not going to stay there because it's stagnant around here and there's weeds and now let me
Right.
get back into the water and to get into the flow. So let me
Hmm.
ask you, I like that, get into the flow. What does that mean for you, El, to get into the flow? What does it look like or feel like when one is in the flow?
I feel like I'm in flow a lot for effort. I put in the time to be in flow. So when my day goes the way I expect it, I'm in flow and I'm not surprised. And then I give gratitude that the day went well. And this was, we were talking about Neville Goddard. In the morning, before I get out of bed, I think about my day.
Yeah.
How do I imagine that it's going to go? And then let go of, it could be, you know, something different. Like, for example, because I'm still moving in. So I thought on Wednesday is kind of my open day, and I'm going to finish the rest of the unpacking. Oh, well, a friend called me for lunch. Okay, let's go to lunch. And then I didn't know it was the third Mexico World Cup game.
Mm.
Well, gotta go to the Mexico World Cup game, right? And so I don't see that as getting out of flow like it was. None of that was in my morning intention. So this or
Mm.
better.
Hmm.
So that's how you know you're in flow. Things are moving along. You're not thinking about it. You're not trying to make it happy. You're especially not angsting over what if that, you know, like what if the cable person doesn't come on time and I'm rushed getting the kids from school. Like none of that is flow,
Right.
you know? That person's going to come for cable when they do. The kids are going to get picked up when they get picked up. That's flow. So how do we stay in flow when there's angst? Like
Mm.
our physical world is showing not really flow.
Right.
And so then how do we go, I surrender to the flow
Right.
is the challenge, right? And you and I have been doing this for decades, and we still are challenged with that on
Right.
occasion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. People will say, Eugene, you make this sound so easy. You have no idea. I have to practice this every single day
Hmm.
because those voices come up every single day.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, going with the flow. And there was something I think you said last time is like, being in the drama, because flow is simple, right? And what I wrote down, I think what you said last week is drama can't vibrate with simple.
Exactly.
Yeah. Drama cannot vibrate with simple. And here's the thing that I've learned over the years. Come on, page turn. What I've learned over the years, El, is that life is simple. Life can be simple. When we look, I love watching, nature and how it just is. That
Hmm.
things are taken care of naturally. So if I'm a part of nature, and I am,
Hmm.
then let me trust that I'm taken care of. Doesn't mean that I'm going to sit back on my haunches and just just wait for things to happen. No, there's
Right.
that part that I have to do too. I have to do my part, and then also trust. And also trust that the process,
Mhm.
the river knows where it's going. But I
Mhm.
also want to, I think this is important also to talk about how important it is to trust self. Trust that I can do this. Trust
Right.
that I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Something you said, I had a visual in my head of I want a t-shirt that says 100% organic and on it. And then to not just think about for our self-care, eating organic, how about being organic?
Mm, Speak
What would
more to
that
that
look
if you
like?
don't mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Being organic means letting go of all of our consumer,
Oh.
needs and desires. Being organic means letting go of the need for how we want other people to show up. It's any of those things that makes life complicated.
Mm, mm.
It always makes me laugh when people will say it's complicated, like they don't want to tell you.
Oh, it's
It's like,
complicated.
okay, well, I don't need to hear it. If that's what you want to tell me, I'm good with that. I'm just sad that it's complicated for you.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear myself saying, "Oh, if you say so." It's it's
yeah,
complicated. If you say so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when they talk about relationships, and they're like, oh, it's complicated. Well, then why are you still there?
Right. Oh, see?
It's complicated. We want simple,
Yeah.
organic. And
And
it
full.
Here's the thing, people that, spend time around me, I drive them crazy. It's all about love. To me, that's the source of organic and simple and happiness and flow. It's how much can we be in the state of love,
Yeah.
for ourselves and others. And then again, especially when times aren't going well. Like it's hard
Right.
for me to say I have love for a certain person in power right now. I
Hmm.
don't know that love would be the word that I would choose. Um, Yet I do know that I can hold love in my space and the people immediately that I touch and encounter and smile to somebody at the counter and say thank you.
Yeah.
I can continue to create love.
Yeah. I'm going to use that person in power as an example, or not as an example, really, but how do I want to say this? This is not specifically towards him, right? But to love the person and not the actions,
Hmm.
right? Now,
Hmm.
well, not
Love the
necessarily,
human. Hmm.
right? So if people in our families sometimes show up in interesting ways, and so let me still love them. I just don't love the behavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also remind myself, thank you for the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for the lesson that I'm not as non-judgmental as I'd like to believe. Or
Right. Right. Dang.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Letting go into the flow. The river knows where it's going, and in that flow, everything is taken care of. And so what I had to learn to do over the years is to trust that, to trust that.
I think if you asked the average person, how it was kind of still kind of a joke thing, what's the meaning of life?
Mm-hmm.
If you say to a person, the river knows where it's going, do you?
Mm.
I
Yeah.
think we'd mostly get a lot of, ah.
Right.
That's a deep question,
Yeah, it
as the river
is.
runs deep.
As the river runs deep, right? Um, Dr. Joseph Campbell, is that the mythology, that guy. Yeah. Was listening to a talk or this in this in interview, and he was speaking about people looking for the meaning of life. He says what they're really looking for is the experience of life.
Mm,
That what we're wanting to do is to experience life. We're not looking for the meaning of it. So what's the
right.
experience? So to trust enough to be in the flow, to experience life at our highest and best selves, as our highest and best selves. Knowing that we have an idea, we have a thought. Oh, I want to do this, and then
Hmm.
trust that it's taken care of, and then do the work to bring it about. Yeah, and to trust that it's taken care of. Yeah, that things are lining up. Things are already lined up. I just
Right.
have to be open and aware and trusting to know that it is,
Hmm.
because the universe always says yes to us. Yeah.
Yes. And the brain science of it is because of the billion bits of pieces of information that our brain has to process every second, we have the reticular activating system. So when we say yes to things, we now see things that have always been there,
Yes.
but our focus, we were lacking focus,
Hmm.
on that. So then we think, wow, I can't believe I just overheard this, affirmation or confirmation or, oh my gosh, I was just talking about this. And now I was just saying that I wanted to get some boots and now they're on sale. Or they're having the boot clearance. Well, the boot clearance happens all the time. We just weren't, saying, I want this. So when we say we want something, the brain starts to help us get it because the brain is there for creation,
Right.
not destruction.
Hmm.
We can turn it around as being the boss of the brain. We can discreate, but it comes in first as creation.
Wow. See, the power of yes, the
Yes.
power of ideas.
Hmm.
I love what you said about the brain science around that, right? You say yes, and the brain goes to work to make it so. Telling
Yeah,
you,
for better or for worse, right?
right?
When we
Yeah,
say things like, I can't, all men are trash. There goes the brain, going to bring you trashy men.
right.
Whatever it might, it's hard for me to think of negative things. I'm like, okay, let me think on it. Because I've trained my brain to think positive.
Right,
It definitely was not always that way.
right.
And there's times still today when it's not. And I think to myself, did you just think that? That's out of alignment with who you are. Let's
Right.
release that.
Yeah. Yeah. See, folks, even though Ellen and I have been doing this for years, but every day we have to come back to, wait a minute, did I just think that? Let's release that. It's a consistent practice. It truly is. Yeah.
Mhm. I had a day
That.
yesterday where I kept saying but, right? Because I teach NLP and we want to
Mm.
eliminate buts as much as possible because they close and and such. And I kept hearing myself say but a lot. And I was thinking, why is that? Am I
Mm.
just aware of it today? Do I always? Right. So then you get curious when something's not going the way you want. Get curious. Like a 5-year-old
Yeah.
looking, when you see a 5-year-old going, trying to figure something out, get that way with you when things aren't quite right. So all I did was spent the day being aware and shifting my butts to ands because 90% of the time it's a good shift.
Hmm.
There is a time when but is correct.
Right.
And then I let go of, well, maybe I do say it more than I want, but I spent that day being aware of hearing it.
Yeah.
And I spent that day being aware of hearing it and shifting.
Yeah.
And so it's the awareness.
And that's the key, hearing it and shifting. Yeah. I remember back in the day when I would say, and Dr. Libby, I actually got a little tired of me saying it. Yes, it's all about the awareness. It's all about the awareness. And after a while, she would let me go on for a while,
Mhm.
on days, right? And then one day she says, yeah, Eugene, it's all about the awareness and you're aware of the key. But if you don't put the key in the ignition and turn the car on, you go nowhere. So it's not just about the awareness, it's also about making that shift. Yeah,
I like to believe that awareness is the first step.
yeah,
It doesn't necessarily take you anywhere.
right.
You're just up a little bit of a level. And when you were talking about cars, it's kind of like if you remember the manual um, shifting, and the car would get louder, and you would know if I want to go faster, I need to shift. And some people go through that life
Mhm.
that way, like it's so loud, but they're not willing to shift.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, they're not willing to go faster or to ease the tension
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
because the gear is at its maximum. You got to shift it,
Hmm.
or it will burn up the transmission.
Hmm.
So that we need to transition into a different way of being.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It all works.
yeah, yeah. It all works. Yeah, let go to get into the flow. And so I think what I want to leave folks with this week, Al, is this just popped in the head again, coming back to asking self the question, do I trust me? It's one thing to trust life, right? Do I trust life? And whatever the answers are, that's what the answers are. I believe the most important question to ask is, do I trust myself? Do I trust myself to put forth the ideas, to bring the desires that I want? Do I trust myself to do what it takes for that to come forth? And do I trust myself to accept it? Yeah, so what I would like to put out this week, folks, is to ask yourself, do I trust me? Do I trust myself to do what it takes to live the life I want to live? Yeah. What about you, Al?
Do all of that, and in the process, stay curious.
Mm,
Ask a lot of questions. Um, if things aren't going well, say, well, what's next, or now what, or what else could this mean? What other options are there? And in the work that we do, my new favorite saying is keep the best and release the rest.
I like that. Keep the best and release the rest. Yeah.
Cha-ting.
And with that, folks, we're going to bid you a beautiful, beautiful day. And thank you for tuning in once again to Eugene Holder's Academy of Self Mastery. And as I always say, be a friend, share it with a friend. Be a friend, tell a friend, share it with a friend, and also subscribe. All righty.
Yeah,
Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next
yeah.
time.
We're here for you.
We are here for you. Peace and blessings.